Court says it will hear an expedited appeal of President Trump's attempt to end birthright citizenship by executive order. The court did not explain its decision, and the case will likely be heard next spring. For more than 100 years, courts, interpreted the Constitution to give U.S. citizenship to anyone born on American soil, regardless of the legal status of the parents. Now, that may hang in the balance. Our senior Washington correspondent, Devin Dwyer, joins me now. So this is clearly a huge deal and a lot's at stake, Devin.
A landmark case, Kira, and part of President Trump's immigration agenda, his crackdown he signed into law on the first day in office. And it's not the first time that the Supreme Court will look at this issue. You remember just about a year ago, the Supreme Court heard a case involving the president's attempt to end birthright citizenship. But at that time, the justices were squarely focused on whether individual courts around the country could block the order while the litigation continued. They ultimately said that nationwide injunctions were not okay, but judges found ways around them. That executive order remains on hold. Birthright citizenship is still the policy of the land, but now the president is back to the Supreme Court asking them to decide this issue on the merits, even though, as you mentioned there in the intro, more than 100 years of legal precedent has established and reaffirmed that the Constitution does in fact spell out that anyone born on American soil is an American. And what the justices said this afternoon is that they are now going to take it up, decide it once and for all, likely next spring, Kira, when they schedule the case, and hand a decision down before the end of June.
So does the fact that the court will take up this case indicate how it might eventually rule on the issue?
It's a great question. Sometimes it does indicate that there's interest on the part of the court to overturn lower court decisions. But most legal analysts that I've talked to, Kira, say the reason the court is getting involved here is simply because of the magnitude of the issue, the attempt by President Trump repeatedly now to push this issue to the forefront. But all of the federal courts around the country that have looked at this issue in the past, 8-9 months since